the scattered arena, many tiles are disoriented, but many tiles are disoriented, but instantly alert. The Regicide lunatic rushes over towards the looming throne like toilet bowl, claiming it as a kingdom to conquer. The King of England sends away envoys to parley to seek alliances with the Mongolian prince
Dude,
and the man with three hats.
This is gonna become political very fast.
Ruby Rose and Yang quickly form a partnership. Okay.
Wow.
Again, for the billionth time, Vetra begins scavenging the edges, collecting tiny screws and wires. There gets apparently mastered her. Four men under one hat remain enigmatic, lurking near the giant soap dish.
Yes.
Machamp tests his strength by smashing a fallen toothbrush handle while Sevatar darts across the tile scouting for threats. Does anyone die?
Just keep reading it.
I just wanted to check. No one died in this, but check. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to
Okay.
tell it to have people die.
Yeah.
Kiwi Bird, Oscar the Grouch reveals the Grammy Corner, or revels in Grammy Corners. Jim Pickett stumbles into a spider
What
web.
happens with the kiwi bird?
I read it a bit far ahead. Kiwi Bird,
Okay.
burdened with her mysterious pregnancy, seeks quiet corners. Captain South America patrols diligently. Axis Prime and the Robot Mammoth each move stealthily. Two massive fucking people. Stealth Mammoth
Isn't
is
everyone
probably
the same
least
size though?
not the same size. Everyone's relatively
Okay.
relative size.
Got it.
So I assume Mammoth is still going to be massive because it's stupid,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, or a Robot Mammoth. But then Axis Prime is. I wonder if I assume he's going to also be normal height because he's only like 2 people tall and like 4 or 3 people long.
That's pretty decent though.
I know that.
3 people long
But I mean,
is a lot.
I think he's about 10 feet. Never mind, not that tall. He's
Okay.
like 12 feet tall, probably 10 feet long,
Yeah.
and like 6 feet wide. If you look him up, he looks like a spider.
I know what it looks
Night
like. I
falls and the
remember it.
bathroom becomes a shadowy maze of danger. Dripping faucets sound like distant waterfalls. Jimmy Neutron goes off claiming minor injuries, but steady and tone. Survival is ruthless. Day 3, everyone is warned, where beginning to realize. Would I call those events? What would I call those segments?
Mm.
Okay. It decided to redo it for some reason. That's really annoying when I asked it to do that. I meant chapter 2.
That is really annoying.
I'll have chapter 2 do it instead. Okay, I need a different game that I don't go insane listening to Genocide Alpha 1 music.
Shotgun.
Shotgun?
Zork.
I told you my sister randomly just called me out for this Saturn ambience, right?
No.
Apparently she just logged onto my account randomly and just looked at me when I was watching YouTube and was like, what a nerd, and that's it.
Yeah. You are. Surprised it's not Mars.
I don't like Mars.
You're obsessed. You only play Mars games.
Space games. A lot of my, yeah, like Shari too.
Surviving Mars.
Trans. I like Trans Citadel. I would live there.
I like trains.
Survivors awake tense after the previous day's skirmishes. Alliances in Chapter 1 are shaky, but still holding. King of England and the Mongolian prince share a brief tense conversation. Though their language barrier keeps them distance, neither of them know what they're saying.
Okay.
Ruby, Rose, and Yang scout the edge of the arena, finding spots of safety. Jimmy Neutron continues inventing traps. The Black Cat prowls quietly. Several competitors notice bad luck surrounding her presence. To the event, toilet overflow, flood, quote unquote. Midday, a thunderous gurgle erupts. The massive toilet begins to overflow. Within minutes, the toilet water cascades over the tiled plains, rapidly flooding the arena's lower half. The floodwater
That's sick.
transforms the arena, forcing contestants to scramble onto higher surfaces. Soap dishes, toilet paper rolls, and faucet bases. Ruby saves Jim Pickens.
W.
Vetra makes a makeshift raft using cotton swabs and bottle cap. Buff Plankton is caught in a whirlpool near the bathtub drain and gets sucked in, dying. The four men sharing one hat try to navigate a slippery soap dish, but they fall one by one into the water. The dentist, while trying to trap a fleeing Medusa, slips on a wet towel, cracks his head in ceramic sink, and dies immediately. Savitar uses his speed to save himself, but witnesses the fall of the dentist from a safe perch. I'm losing my mind. I read tension rises as Tenoja rises. I need to stop playing Shiv.
No. You
The
don't.
floodwater subsides slowly overnight, but the arena remains Tetris.
Tetris. What?
Uh, treacherous.
Oh, okay.
Dialogue boxes.
Dialogue boxes.
I'm asking because it has like an entire segment of how people died. I wanted to have it inside the dialogue boxes to keep it like more random.
I feel like you just like messing with it. Like, just don't mess with it. Just like let it.
No,
run
I did. The
and
thing
go.
is, I didn't mess with it at all for any of for the first time I did it. That's why
Okay.
it's so weird that it was doing that. Because normally what it would do is it would have like events go, and then it would be like, oh, this person. It would be like, oh, it talked about someone's death, and then it would go on to the next event, like the normal Hunger Games thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I kept on using that, and then it just randomly decided to change. And I was like, okay, that's annoying, whatever. And so I just tried tinkering with it just now, of course, and it just keeps on being weird.
Yeah.
Rose crouched behind the half-wet loofah, whispering to Yang beside her. They just start talking about the survivors and how people react. Jimmy Neutron's tinkering with his spent toothbrush motor, attaching paper clips to create a shock trap. Jim Pickens watched from the shadows, half impressed. Medusa, of course, this kid's a genius. Almost as cool as me.
Yeah, true.
Medusa slithers through a spill of conditioner, using the slickness to move silently. She creeps toward the remnants of the four men sharing one hat. They'll
It's
last
probably
two.
a hat.
One turned just in time to scream. The scream was turned into stone. By morning, only one man remained under the hat. He had no longer spoke. Savitar is still shaken by the flood and fatigue, zipped into a cleverly made old Q-tip and wet floss. Zipped into a clearing made of Q-tips and wet floss. Waiting for him was Robot Saber-Tooth Tiger. He tried to run, but his legs were slower today. Waterlogged, metal claws stuck. He died without a word.
I guess I'd.
Another quadrant, Captain South America and Vetra moved through a dried basin. Each time Vetra stepped forward, something shifted, twigs breaking, debris toppling. She thinks the cat is cursed. Captain America shook his head.
It's not
Cat
cursed.
rubbed against his leg. 2 steps later, an old soap crumpled beneath him. He slipped, shield flying, and tumbled off the basin edge.
It is cursed.
King without a kingdom. This is the title. The King of England stood atop the rim of the toilet bowl, surveying the remains of his empire.
Yeah.
He didn't even own it.
It does.
The regicidal lunatic climbed up silent behind him and sank a broken mirror shot into him. The king fell dramatically into the toilet bowl. Oscar the Grouch sat tucked into a drain pipe, sharpening a jagged tile tile shard with sandpaper. Mm-hmm. Kiwi Bird, now sluggish, found a quiet corner underneath the sink. It was trembling in exhaustion. It looked at others warily. Siri's voice cracked the intercom systems. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that it was part of the intercom.
That makes sense.
Axis and the champ came from face to face. So pumped, they stared wordlessly. There was understanding. They turned and walked in opposite directions. Tile floors were dry again, but not clean. Hair clumps size of jungle bushes scattered the battlefield. The survivors now lived among cold strands of broken floss, toothpaste smears, and forgotten patches of soap scum. The group has thinned. Alliances have crumbled. Blah. Yeah. Ruby, Rose, and Yang became just idealistic protectors. The kiwi cracks beneath the sink. The kiwi bird bloated and wheezing finally began to shake violently. A pulse glowed from her belly.
Yeah.
She burst the Antichrist.
Yep.
Okay. Did you write that? I didn't read.
I put a kiwi bird pregnant with the Antichrist.
I didn't see that at all.
I know.
I completely glossed over that.
Good.
Oh
That's awesome.
God. Oh my God. I lost my place. Paranoia fissures in the mind. Jim Pickens wanders alone. He bumps into Oscar the Grouch, who emerges from the filthy puddle like a sewer spirit. They stare each other down. Machamp and Axis met again. This time there'd be no walking away. Machamp charged with a roar, fist burling. Axis retaliated with a burst of electrical energy, knocking him back into the base of the plunger. The fight was raw and brutal. Miniature sparks and muscle collided in a dance of death. And then Machamp stood tall, but wobbled. Axis' core dimmed and he collapsed, wires fried, leaking from static. One of the cool things about Axis' lore, or Axis' boss fight, is you kill him the first time, and you go to get loot, and he just wakes up again, and then rips himself out of the wall to kill you.
That's sick. That is really cool.
It is a really cool thing, because you do end up killing him, but then Siva resurrects him because he programmed it to, you know?
Yeah. That's cool.
That's the one reason I really like Siva, is because it's nanomachines that can just revive people.
Yeah. Siva, I've always thought Siva was really cool.
Did I buy you Destiny yet?
No.
Do you want to get it now?
Right now?
Just do it later.
Yeah, do it later.
Because even, like I said, the good thing about Siva is that you don't even need to listen to, like, the old games. Or old DLC, because it's that, like, random.
Yeah.
I just had a lunatic stained with the king's blood, had begun talking to his reflection. He attacked his own reflection, and he stabs himself in his own leg.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Out of like he slipped and did that.
Oh, yeah.
Medusa had taken to sleeping in the folds of damp washcloths. She emerged to petrify rats or insects to eat. Her snakes hissed constantly now. She was nearing madness. She caught a glimpse of herself in the soap puddle, and she killed her. She killed herself.
Okay. Awesome.
Kiwi Antichrist is somewhere.
Yeah.
The so-called king is hiding. But the boy who would be queen king is wavering. Finish him. The survivors woke up to strange stillness. No dripping, no echoes, no Siri. Jimmy Neutron tapped the floor beneath them. Ruby and Yang, still fighting side by side, had moved towards the toilet to porcelain rim, and it was their stronghold now. The four hat survivor cracked. The last man, with under the hat, finally snapped. He had no name now, just a ragged voice, an enormous hat on his back. He mutters to himself and walked towards the razor base.
Oh, shit.
He just killed himself on a razor blade.
Oh, okay. That's anticlimactic.
Keyboard Antichrist revealed himself with a blur of feathers and teeth. Its eyes burning with sulfuric yellow. It pounced from the drain pipe with a screech that made the robot saber-toothed tiger recoil. It attacked fast. Oscar the Grouch tried to slam his trash can laid on top of it. The creature skittered up his arm and vanished down his throat. Oh my god.
Holy
He
shit.
killed him.
Oscar the Grouch?
Yeah, Oscar the Grouch died.
Yeah.
The champ, already injured, stood between the monster and others. The fight was explosive, muscle versus man. The Antichrist tore his arms off with his talons and slashed his chest open. Jimmy Neutron's electric toothpaste trap powered back up just in time to zap both of them.
Yippee.
The robot saber-toothed tiger launched towards Jimmy Neutron, but Ruby intercepted it, using her scythe to redirect its claws and sending it skidding through the sink drain, where the water began to swirl. Black Cat stared at the chaos and walked away from it. Is she dead? The Black Cat stared in the chaos and walked away from it. She didn't fight. She stood at the edge of the toothbrush and let the water take her.
I guess.
Huh, that's weird. Yeah, I guess she just died on purpose.
Yeah.
Jim Pickens grins, slicing the back, slicking back his wet hair. None of it.
This guy's
He's
bald.
bald.
Here's
He
some
lunged
hair.
at Yang. Yeah, I guess, yeah. He has, like, the fuzz.
Yeah.
He lunged at Yang, who met him with a punch that sent him tumbling to the toothpaste cap. Toothpaste cap trap Jimmy had set earlier. It snapped shut. And fine, he yelled. Jim Pickens yelled. Then it exploded. Jimmy Neutron, Ruby, and Yang were the last three. They stood soaked, exhausted, and water finally drained down their plug hole, leaving them alone in damp silence. Okay, no, they're killing each other. They're not. We're not having three winners. Okay. So, do you want to just do the last three, or have the robot Sabretooth, Black Cat, and Jim Pickens also come back? Because they just decided to restart the last six.
Was the robot Sabretooth dead? I thought it was still alive.
Yeah, it got brought down the drain, and the cat just looked at it, and then also got sucked in. It's like, all right, and then died with it.
Um,
Final six or
wait, what are the
the
final
last
six?
three. Jim Pickens, Jimmy Neutron, Yang, Ruby, the Black Cat, Robot
Okay.
Tiger.
Yeah, let's do final six if it's that's what it's
Uh,
good.
the black cat, graceful but wary, stood her ground. A grinding noise escaped from the toilet. The great bowl groaned. Water exploded from the pipes, and foam flooded the sink and basin, rushing to the battlefield of white tsunami. Why is it white? The black cat gracefully but weary stood her ground. She knew her luck had run dry. The soap rushed in. She meowed once, slipped. The razor blade hit underneath the foam, sliced her neck off. Oh,
Damn, that's
she is
crazy.
bad luck.
Yeah.
Jim Pickens, ever the enigma, had one more move. He approached Jimmy Neutron holding a bent safety pin. Jim lunged. Jim hesitated too long. Jim lunged. The two wrestled over the trigger. Zap. They both screamed. Pickens caught in the full charge. He slumped over. Jimmy survives. Ruby Yang's. Series, I forgot the Game Master.
Yeah.
Ruby Yang discussed that one of them has to live, blah, blah. Ruby survives
What?
with her cloak shredded.
What do you mean, sir? What happened?
Because they realize, like, oh, only one of us can survive anyways, or, yeah, so they
So
fought
they
each other to
fought.
death.
Okay.
I'm not reading the cringy voice lines, unless they're funny.
Yeah.
Robot Sabertooth Tiger damaged but dangerous leapt towards Ruby as soon as the announcement that Yang has died rang out. But Jimmy Neutron scorched and twitching tackled it midair. The tiger's metal claws clamped into his arm. They both slid into the flood. Jimmy screamed as they vanished down the drain. Ruby wins.
Damn.